Top 10 technological innovations to enhance outstanding work performance. You will definitely be surprised by these inventions.
The thick snow doesn't bother the Germans at all. The entire process is mechanized. You can see a series of earth-moving vehicles rushing back and forth, and the highway has been almost completely cleared. Even when affected by harsh weather like hail, they can remove the ice layer on the road in time. The secret lies in these cleaning devices. First is the ice-breaking vehicle. Its front is equipped with a roller, on which there are more than 1,000 steel teeth. When operating, these steel teeth will hit the ice layer, shattering it. Then, the scraper at the back will sweep away the crushed ice. Next, they will spread industrial salt on the cleaned road surface to accelerate the melting of the snow and ice. Finally, the cleaning vehicle will push away the crushed ice layer. This ice-breaking vehicle can clean 65 km of ice per hour. In addition, there are many other types of earth-moving vehicles with different functions, ensuring that the road is not frozen and causing traffic congestion. Even with 180 days off in a year, when the snowy weather comes, they always timely clean the highway before the ice hardens, ensuring smooth traffic and reducing the risk of traffic accidents. As for your place, how do you clean the snow and ice?
Why does the lawnmower use a string instead of a blade? Just 2 strings can cut the grass. Those who don't use this machine would think they use blades to cut the grass. But why do they choose a string instead of a blade? In fact, the string that the lawnmower uses is a type of flexible but very sturdy nylon material. It is usually installed in the cutting head of the lawnmower. Both ends will protrude from 10 to 15 centimeters. When it operates, the cutting head of the lawnmower will rotate at a speed of 6,000 revolutions per minute to make the cutting string rotate at high speed. Under the influence of the speed of the stand and the air resistance, the cutting string will display a curved state. It's like a curved knife. It can cut the grass on the lawn quickly and efficiently. Compared to using a hard blade to cut grass, the method of using a string to cut grass has many incomparable advantages. First, the string is safer than the blade, because if you use a high-speed rotating blade, when cutting grass, if you accidentally touch a rock or concrete surface, it is easy to cause damage and breakage. And this type of string lawnmower also has excellent flexibility and adaptability. It can adapt to different terrains and grasses. Even for some weeds at the edge of the concrete, it can also be trimmed well. This seemingly simple grass cutting device is really amazing. Can you believe it? Tires can also be used to weed. By installing dozens of tires behind a tractor, continuously rotating while moving on the ground, all the weeds can be pulled out. This is a very interesting tire weeding machine. Its principle is very simple. The weeds on this piece of land are quite special. They root deep and are taller, which is quite easy to solve. Install 2 rows of horizontal bars behind the tractor. Hang full of tires diagonally in front and behind. They are close to each other, rotating in the same direction through the drive wheel. Just need to control the horizontal bar to lower to the appropriate height. The machine continuously moves forward. When in contact with weeds, the pattern on the surface of the tire will push it to the middle. Then it will be clamped by 2 tires, moving forward at the same time. It can pull all the weeds from the root. Using this method does not need to worry about harming the crops. Even if the tire accidentally clamps the vegetable leaf, it can only pull the vegetable leaf off, and it cannot be pulled out of the soil. In addition, if both the weeds and crops are very small, then you have to switch to a laser weeding machine. This machine has an analyzer, can analyze which one is a weed and which one is a crop. Transfer this result to the laser emitter and instantly emit a laser. Every second can kill 28 weeds. How about it? Isn't this very magical? How do you weed in your place? The firefighter's water hose wasn't aimed at the flames, but sprayed outward from inside the building. However, unbelievably, the fire was extinguished in no time. What's the unbelievable method to extinguish a fire in such circumstances? In fact, this method utilizes the Venturi effect. When gas or liquid moves forward at high speed, it creates a low-pressure area behind it. This pressure difference will draw in materials from behind, including hot air. Simply put, when a fire breaks out, firefighters hang a curved water hose to spray out through the window. The high-speed water flow will draw hot air from inside out, reducing the temperature in the house below the ignition point, and the fire will naturally be extinguished. However, using this method has a specific condition. The fire scene must be in a relatively closed or semi-closed environment. In this case, sucking out hot air is faster than spraying water for cooling. If the air environment is not tightly sealed, this method will not be effective. If a large outdoor fire occurs, the best method is to establish a containment zone, such as in a field fire. The fire spreads rapidly, and the farm owner will drive a mower, cutting grass around the fire. When the fire reaches this point and has nothing left to burn, it will naturally be extinguished. When forcefully pulled, the large capsule initially floating on the water surface will open up like a clamshell and eject a red plastic mass. In just a few minutes, it will transform into a lifeboat capable of carrying 6 people. This is an incredibly convenient life-saving device. When not in use, it will be fixed on one side of the boat. Those unaware might mistake it for mere decoration. Almost simultaneously, the integrated air pump inside will quickly activate, inflating the compressed lifeboat inside. After passengers board the boat, they will swiftly cut the tether and complete the evacuation. Such a small boat can carry 6 adults or 10 children. What's even more interesting is that this device has a second activation method, capable of dealing with situations where manual opening isn't possible. When the capsule and the boat sink together into the water, along with the increasing water pressure at a depth of approximately 1.5 to 4 meters, the sensor spring will immediately pull out and release the blade to cut the tether. Once the capsule is released, it will start to float upward while the boat continues to descend, and the tension created by both will replace human effort. Triggering the outer shell switch, after completing inflation in the water, cutting off the fixed anchor point, allows the life raft to smoothly surface, helping survivors to escape. Quite fascinating, isn't it? Pay attention to this. A large bulldozer uses 2 thick iron chains to pull a 17-meter-long, several tons heavy iron bar through the forest. Wherever the iron bar goes, the trees there are all knocked down. And there is not only one way to cut trees that creates such a visually intense effect, but there is also another way using 2 bulldozers. They together pull a large-sized thick iron chain through the forest, which can also knock down a large forest. Looking down from above, the iron chain is like a curved sickle, capable of clearing a large amount of vegetation in an hour. These 2 methods of cutting trees have the same principle. It's just that tying the iron chain is more efficient than tying the iron bar, so only when there is only one bulldozer they use the iron bar. It's worth noting that this is not indiscriminate cutting. The trees that are knocked down into patches are not useful trees because they are complexly distributed and their root system is not developed. Not only are they useless when left, but they also increase the risk of forest fires. The knockdown trees also cannot be left in place. Workers will replace it with a tree grinder, driving it over the felled trees. The original menacing branches will be ground into a pile of debris on the ground. The power of this machine is also very formidable. After completing this step, this area can be replanted with useful vegetation. Look at this. The worker in front of us is holding a machine. After aiming at the rebar and pressing the button, the machine will automatically shoot out wire and bind the rebar together. The completion of this process only takes 0.8 seconds. How is this operation performed? In fact, this device of the Koos gun is an automatic binding machine, specifically used to bind rebar. Its usage is also very simple. Just aim the gun at the object to be bound, then press the button on top. The front end of the machine will spit out wire, and after winding a few rounds, it will quickly tighten. When the rebar is tightened, it can also automatically cut off. In this way, the task of binding rebar becomes easy. When the wire inside is used up, just open the lid and add more. The traditional way of binding rebar is done by hand. It is necessary to bind each intersection of the rebar individually. Not only is the work slow, but working for a long time is also not good for the body. But with this automatic rebar binding machine, the work becomes much easier. Inside this rebar binding machine, there is also a smart chip that can automatically adjust according to the thickness of the rebar. At the same time, to avoid bending over for a long time when working, they have also designed an upgraded version with a handle. The switch of this binding machine has also been moved to the handle. In this way, you can make money just by standing up. Isn't it interesting? Use hollow plastic squares to piece together a road. Not only does it solve the problem of hard-to-degrade waste, but even in heavy rain, there is no water accumulation on the road surface. This is a new method of road construction. After the plastic waste is crushed, it is put into a high-pressure and high-temperature press to shape. They are made into squares of the same size. Each plastic sheet on the edge has fixed slots. The biggest feature of it is the hollow design. When it rains heavily, the rainwater will flow into the hollow from a hole on one side. Then, from a drain on one side, it flows underground, ensuring that there is no water accumulation on the road surface. In addition, don't look at it as plastic and think it's not sturdy. There are many support columns installed inside the hollow. It will transfer the pressure from the car on the road surface to the ground. Therefore, there is no need to worry that heavy trucks will damage it, and the gaps between the support columns can be used to place water pipes. This can reduce construction and maintenance costs. Just open the plastic sheet on the top regularly, and you can clean up the accumulated garbage inside, because it is pieced together one by one. Even if some plastic squares are really broken, just replace them with new ones. So, do you think the feasibility of this road is high? A large box weighing hundreds of kilograms falls into the sea. Within 3 minutes, it will transform into 4 inflatable square blocks. People on the ship use an inflatable slide to enter the interior of these blocks, thereby quickly escaping. This is the escape device of the ship. Unlike traditional lifeboats, it not only deploys quickly, but also accommodates many people. 4 square blocks together can accommodate 860 people. If the Titanic had this thing back then, there wouldn't have been so many lives lost. Once this device is opened, it can evacuate a passenger every 6 seconds. The escape slide at the top is connected to the cabin, and the bottom is directly connected to the large float below. 4 inflatable square blocks are directly connected by ropes. As soon as any square block is full, the rescue staff will quickly cut the rope. The square block that escapes the binding will be towed away by the lifeboat. If there is no lifeboat, don't worry. The bright orange color is very conspicuous on the sea. It won't take long for a helicopter to come and pick you up. In addition, there are many similar marine escape devices, like this large device. When activated, it will transform into 2 large inflatable lifeboats. The interior space can accommodate about 1,000 people. So, isn't this very magical? Have you ever seen a trash can in the park that never gets full? This is the automatic garbage collection system developed by Switzerland. Not only does it achieve waste sorting, but it can also use waste to generate electricity. So how is this achieved? When people need to throw away trash, they just need to swipe their card to pay the garbage disposal fee, and the trash can will automatically open. People, based on different types of garbage, throw the garbage into different cans. The bottom of these trash cans all have a long pipe. The end of the pipe is connected to several garbage transfer bins. These transfer bins can transport garbage within a 5-kilometer radius. When working, just start the vacuum pump of a garbage transfer bin separately. The garbage will be sucked into this trash can at a speed of 70 centimeters per hour. This is why it never gets full. The entire collection system can be connected to the subway network. Wait until the subway stops operating at night. The garbage will be quietly transported out. These pieces of garbage will be transported to the garbage disposal plant, and electricity will be generated by burning garbage. Not only does it reduce carbon emissions, but it also reuses garbage reasonably. Although this garbage collection system is very energy-saving and environmentally friendly, it is difficult to implement it in underdeveloped countries.